Dear students, online audience, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the lesson of Analytic Writing. I am Rizwan from the Department of English, Advanced Technological Institute, Samadhi. Dear students, the name of the module is Professional Writing and the topic is Analytic Writing. In this lesson, you are expected to achieve the following learning outcome. You are expected to write reviews of text, drama, novel, films, and issues. First, let me explain the outline of this lesson. In this lesson, we will be discussing academic writing, features of academic writing, style of academic writing, analytic writing, writing analytic essays, steps of writing analytic essay, writing reviews, writing film reviews, elements of film reviews, writing book reviews, elements of book reviews, past questions and marking schemes, finally, learning activities. Dear students, what is meant by academic writing? Academic writing is a formal style of writing used in higher educational institutes, universities, and scholarly publications. It is encountered in journal articles and books on academic topics. You are expected to write essays, research papers, and dissertations in academic style. Academic writing follows the same writing process as other types of texts, but it has specific conventions in terms of content, structure, and style. Dear students, audience, ladies and gentlemen, when you engage in academic writing, you better know the features of it. Academic writing should be formal and unbiased. Academic writing aims to convey information in an impartial way. The goal of academic writing is to base arguments on the evidence under consideration, not the author's preconceptions. All claims should be supported with relevant evidence, not just asserted. Now, look at these examples. Look at the first one. Also, a lot of the findings are a little unreliable. Here, look at the terms used. Also, a lot, a little. You may find it whether they are formal or informal. Here, we pay our attention on academic writing. When academically write, the language should be formal and it should be unbiased. Here, you can correct the sentence like, moreover, many of the findings are somewhat unreliable. Here, you may understand how the informal terms are replaced with formal terms. Instead of also, you can replace with more. A lot of, you can replace with many. A little, instead of a little, you can replace with. Then, now I can reread the sentence. Moreover, many of the findings are somewhat unreliable. When the reader looks at this statement, they will understand the formal way of expressing. So, when you write academically, focus your attention on formal and unbiased feature. Academic writing should be clear and precise. It is important to use clear and precise language to ensure that your reader knows exactly what you mean. This means being as specific as possible and avoiding vague language. Now look at these examples. People have been interested in this thing for a long time. Here, when you look at this example, you may understand that the sentence is not clearly demarcated. It's not clear as well as it is not precise. Now look at the corrected sentence. Researchers have been interested in this phenomenon for at least 10 years. It is very important to understand and practice the features of academic writing in your day-to-day academic atmosphere. Dear students, academic writing should be focused and well structured. An academic text is not just a collection of ideas about a topic. It needs to have a clear purpose. It should include information that is relevant to your overall purpose. A coherent structure is crucial to organize your ideas. And pay attention to structure at 3 levels as follows. The first level is overall structure. When you consider this level, please concentrate on these aspects. It should always include an introduction and a conclusion. You have to divide longer text into chapters or sections with clear headings and make sure information is presented in a logical order. Now let's move on to the second level. The second level is paragraph structure. When you develop this structure, pay attention on these elements prescribed here. You have to start a new paragraph when you move on to a new idea. You better use a topic sentence at the start of each paragraph to indicate what it's about and make clear transitions between paragraphs. And make sure every paragraph is relevant to your argument or question. Now, let's move on to the third level. In this level, sentence structure, in this level, you have to use transition words to express the connections between different ideas within and between sentences. You have to use appropriate punctuation to avoid sentence fragments or run-on sentences. And you have to use a variety of sentence lengths and structures. Dear online audience, academic writing should be well sourced. Academic writing uses sources to support its claims. Sources are other texts that the author analyzes or uses as evidence. Many of your sources will be written by other academics. Academic writing is collaborative and builds on previous research. It is important to consider which sources are credible and appropriate to use in academic writing. For example, citing Wikipedia is typically discouraged. Don't rely on websites for information. Instead, use academic databases and your ATI library to find credible sources. You must always cite your sources in academic writing. This means acknowledging whenever you quote or paraphrase someone else's work by indicating a citation in the text and a reference list at the end. Dear ladies and gentlemen, academic writing should be correct and consistent, as well as following the rules of grammar, punctuation, and citation. It's important to consistently apply stylistic conventions regarding how to write numbers, introducing abbreviations, using verb tenses in different sections, capitalization of terms and headings, and punctuations. Now let's move on to the styles of academic writing. There are three main writing styles that come across during your studies. The first one is descriptive writing. Second one is analytical or analytic writing. And the third one is reflective writing. Dear students, let us discuss about analytic writing. Analytic writing involves reviewing what you have read in light of other evidence. It shows the thought processes you went through to arrive at a given conclusion and discusses the implication of this. Analytic writing usually follows a brief description and focuses on answering questions like why, how, and so what. Dear brothers and sisters, now it's time to discuss about writing analytic essays. Analytic essays provide a way to share your insights about a work of literature, scientific study, or historical event. What is an analytic essay? An analytic essay is a piece of writing that provides substantive analysis of a topic. Analysis papers can be written about art, music, literary works, current events, historical events, politics, scientific research, and philosophy, among other topics. Analytic essays are common in academic settings, and they also appear in magazines, newspapers, academic journals, and trade journals. A good analytic essay can explain and contextualize basic information for the benefit of a reader. Dear sons and daughters, what is the purpose of an analytic essay? Analytic essays serve two purposes, one for the reader and one for the writer. Teachers of higher educational institutes assign analytical papers to help their students grow as writers and thinkers. Analytic papers boost the students' writing skills and enhance their comprehension of a particular topic. Analytic essays also benefit readers. Newspapers and magazines routinely publish critical analysis essays to help their readers make sense of the news of the day. These types of essays enable authors who may be experts in their fields to educate their fellow citizens on matters of politics, economics, art, architecture, culture, and many other subjects of importance. My dear students, shall we discuss about the differences between analytic essays and descriptive essays? Yeah. What sets an analytic essay apart from descriptive essay is the author's point of view, whereas analytic essays present an argument supported by evidence. Descriptive essays tend to take the form of book summaries, film synopses, descriptive articles, and informative pamphlets that do not include analysis or opinion. Like a good analytic essay, a strong descriptive essay will highlight its main points, organize given topics into body paragraphs, and use logical transitions. Ultimately, however, descriptive essays summarize facts, while analytic essays delve into interpretations. Now you could have understood the differences between analytic essays and descriptive essays. Dear students, when you write an analytic essay, you better follow the given steps to make your analytic essay informative. The best analytic essays offer a clear point of view, well organized around a main idea, address opposing arguments, and are thoroughly supported by primary and secondary sources. The first step is to choose a point of view. No matter what you choose as your central point of view, prepare to anchor your entire analytic essay around a singular thesis statement. Then write an introductory paragraph ending in a thesis statement. An excellent introduction can engage your reader's interest, so take extra care on your opening paragraph. The best introductions start with a hook, such as a rhetorical questions or a bold statement, and provide global context, outlining questions that your analysis will tackle. A good introduction concludes with a thesis statement that serves as the North Star for the entire essay. When you write analytic essay, you have to carefully organize the body of your essay. After your introductory paragraph, divide your essay into body paragraphs that delve into specific topics. All body paragraphs should serve the main goal of supporting your thesis statement, either by providing background information, digging into details, or providing contrasting viewpoints. The number of body paragraphs will vary depending on the scope of your essay. The structure of your essay is just as important as the subject of your essay, so take the time to plan each body paragraph. Furthermore, when you write analytic essay, craft clear topic sentence. Each main body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence that both introduces the topic of the specific paragraph and ties it to your main thesis. Dear students, in addition to the above steps, you have to populate your essay with evidence. The main body of the essay should be filled with a mixture of substance and analysis. You will not convince your audience by making statements without solid evidence to back it up. Therefore, you must support the main points of your analysis with textual evidence taken from both primary and secondary sources. Use footnotes and endnotes as necessary. Furthermore, you have to provide space for contrasting opinions. You can make an argument stronger by acknowledging another point of view. Even if you do not agree with a critical perspective, you can still use a body paragraph to articulate that point of view. You can then refute that argument with additional evidence and reasoning, strengthening your thesis. Finally, you have to summarize your analysis in a concluding paragraph. Whether you are aiming for a good grade or just trying to give your audience a satisfying reading experience, wrap up your analytic essay with a concluding paragraph that recaps your argument. The concluding paragraph is not the place to introduce a new evidence. Rather, it is the bow on your entire essay, reminding your reader of your most important points and leaving them with some final words for consideration. Dear students, online audience, ladies and gentlemen, now let's discuss about writing reviews. Writing reviews, you must understand what a review is. A review is a critical evaluation of a text, event, object, or phenomenon. Reviews can consider books, articles, entire genres or fields of literature, architecture, art, fashion, restaurants, policies, exhibitions, performances, and many other forms. Above all, a review makes an argument. The most important element of a review is that it is a commentary, not merely a summary. It allows you to enter into dialogue and discussion with the worker's creator and with other audience. You can offer agreement or disagreement and identify where you find the work exemplary or deficient in its knowledge, judgments, or organization. You should clearly state your opinion of the work in question, and that statement will probably resemble other types of academic writing, with the thesis statement supporting body paragraphs and a conclusion. Dear students, when you write reviews, the following common features are included in it. First, a review gives the reader a concise summary of the content. This includes a relevant description of the topic as well as its overall perspective, argument, or purpose. Second, and more importantly, a review offers a critical assessment of the content. This involves your reactions to the work under review. What strikes you as noteworthy, whether or not it was effective or persuasive, and how it enhanced your understanding of the issues at hand. Finally, in addition to analyzing the work, a review often suggests whether or not the audience would appreciate it. Dear sons and daughters, now you know what review is, the common features of review. Now, using those information, let's write film review. The film review is a popular way for critics to assess a film's overall quality and determine whether or not they think the film is worth recommending. Film reviews differ from scholarly film articles in that they encompass personal and idiosyncratic reactions to and evaluations of a film, as well as objective analysis of the film's formal techniques and thematic content. When you write the film review, you have to focus your attention on the elements of film review. First, introduction. In the introduction, you have to consider the following aspects. In the opening of your review, provide some basic information about the film. For an example, the name of the film, year, director, screenwriter, and major actors. In addition, introduction may be longer than one paragraph, should also begin to evaluate the film, and it should allude to the central concept of the review. And a film review does not have to contain a thesis or main claim, but it should focus on a central analysis and assessment. When you write film reviews, you have to include the plot summary. Remember that many readers of film reviews have not yet seen the film. While you want to provide some plot summary, keep this brief and avoid specific details that would spoil the viewing for others. In addition, you have to include the description when writing film reviews. While the plot summary will give the reader a general sense of what the film is about, also include a more detailed description of your particular cinematic experience watching the film. Furthermore, this may include your personal impression of what the film looks, feels, and sounds like. In other words, what stands out in your mind when you think about this particular film? Dear students, analysis is one of the important elements of film review. In order to explain your impression of the film, consider how well the film utilizes formal techniques and thematic content. In addition, how do the film's formal techniques affect the way the film looks, feels, and sounds to you? Here, when you consider the formal techniques, it could be like cinematography, editing, mise-en-scène, lighting, diegetic and non-diegetic sound, genre, or narratives? Furthermore, how does the thematic content affect your experience and interpretations? Also, do the formal techniques work to forward the thematic content? Here, when you consider the thematic content, it could be like history, race, gender, sexuality, class, or the environment. Finally, conclusions and evaluation should be included when writing film reviews. The closing of your film review should remain the reader of your general thoughts and impressions of the film. You may also implicitly or explicitly state whether or not you recommend the film. And you have to make sure to remind the reader of why the film is or is not worth seeing. Dear passive listeners, ladies and gentlemen, now let us discuss about writing book reviews. When you write book reviews, you have to consider the following elements of book review. The first one is introduction. In general, you should include the name of the author and the book title and the main theme. You have to include relevant details about who the author is and where he or she stands in the genre or fields of inquiry. You could also link the title to the subject to show how the title explains the subject matter. The context of the book and or your review could be included in the introduction. In addition, placing your review in a framework that makes sense to your audience. If you are reviewing fiction, this may be difficult since novels, plays, and short stories rarely have explicit arguments. But identifying the book's particular novelty, angle, or originality allows you to show what specific contribution the piece is trying to make. And in the introduction, you better include your opinion about the book. Summary of the content should be included in book review. This should be brief as analysis takes priority. In the course of making your assessment, you will hopefully be backing up your assertions with concrete evidence from the book. So some summary will be dispersed throughout other parts of the review. And the necessary amount of summary also depends on your audience. Dear students, when you write book review, you have to include the analysis and evaluation of the book. Your analysis and evaluation should be organized into paragraphs that deal with single aspects of your argument. This arrangement can be challenging when your purpose is to consider the book as a whole, but it can help you differentiate elements of your criticism and pair assertions with evidence more clearly. Do not necessarily need to work chronologically through the book as you discuss it. You have to organize your paragraphs more usefully by themes, methods, or other elements of the book. If you find it useful to include comparisons to other books, keep them brief so that the book under review remains in the spotlight. You have to avoid excessive quotation and give a specific page reference in parentheses when you do quote. and you have to remember that you can state many of the author's points in your own words. Finally, you have to include the conclusion in the book review. You have to sum up or restate your opinion or make the final judgment regarding the book. You should not introduce new evidence for your argument in the conclusion. You can, however, introduce ideas that go beyond the book if they extend the logic of your own opinion. And this paragraph needs to balance the book's strengths and weaknesses in order to unify your evaluation. Dear students, now let us move on to the important area of this lesson. This is about the past questions along with the marking scheme. Now, first let's discuss about the past questions appeared in relation with analytic writing in the year 2019. Now look at this learning activity 1, 19Q5. 19Q5 means 2019 question number 5. An international magazine for learners of English in higher educational institutes has asked its readers to submit a review of a novel they have particularly enjoyed and which they think other learners would also enjoy. Write a review for the magazine, including the theme of the novel, a brief summary of the plot and the main characters, what you particularly enjoy about it, what other readers may find interesting about it. When you write review for this question, you have to consider the content, language, and organizations. As per the marking scheme, you will be awarded 12 marks for the content, whereas 8 for language and 5 marks for organizations. Keep on this marking scheme when develop your review. Now we have discussed about how to write review and what are the common features of review and other related background details about reviews. Based on the knowledge you gain from this lesson, you have to answer this question. My dear students, now let's move on to the past questions appeared in 2018. Look at the learning activity 2, 18Q5. Write a review of a novel you have read in about 350 words. The allocated mark is 25. The 25 marks will be categorized as follows. You can circle 8 marks for the content, whereas 3 marks for the organization, and specially you are awarded 2 marks for the argument, while 12 marks awarded for the grammar. Altogether you can circle 25 marks. Dear sons and daughters, now let's discuss the questions appeared in the year 2017. Look at the learning activity 3. 17Q2.1. Write a review of a movie that you watched or a book you read recently to be published on a local newspaper. So you are given 15 marks for these questions. In order to secure these given marks, you have to pay your attention on the content, language and organization as per the marking scheme. You will be awarded 8 marks for the content, whereas 5 for language and 2 marks for the organization. In addition, when you write film review, you have to consider these given points. You have to include the introduction with the title and date of release, summary of the story, analysis of the elements like rising action, climax, creative elements, use of color, camera techniques, the mood and tone, and your own opinion about the film you watched. Furthermore, when you write book review, you have to consider the following points in order to secure the total allocated marks. You have to include the introduction with the title and author of book, body. When you develop the body, pay attention on the summary of the plot, the setting, the main characters and the contents. These should be included in the body. And in the conclusion, commenting on the book, whether the students like the books or not, author's style, whether the book is interesting or boring. So when you consider these points to be included in the book review as well as the previous points I had explained to be included in the film review, you can definitely secure the total allocated marks. Dear students, online audience, ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to the final part of this lesson. Now it's time to summarize the lesson what we discussed. Under the topic of analytic writing, we discuss about academic writing, style of academic writing, writing analytic essays, writing reviews. Especially, we focused our attention on writing film reviews, writing book reviews. While writing film reviews as well as book reviews, what sort of elements to be considered in the development of reviews. In addition, we discuss about the past questions along with the marking scheme in relation to analytic writing. Finally, I have assigned you with 3 learning activities. I hope you will enjoy engaging these 3 learning activities. Dear students, you can refer the prescribed text for the development of professional writing in the program of High National Diploma in English. Dear students, online audience, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining this online lesson on analytic writing. And I wish you all the very best for producing better performance at the forthcoming semester examination. Thank you. This is Rizwan from the Department of English, Advanced Technological Institute, Samanthri.